Hi, I'm Congresswoman Terri Sewell of Alabama's 7th Congressional District. While I wish I could be in person with you, I'm excited to be joining you virtually to talk about one of my favorite topics, the New Market Tax Credit. As the lead sponsor of the New Market Tax Credit Extension Act, I've been fighting to expand this credit, which is critically important for economic development in underserved communities in my district. By incentivizing private investment to spur economic growth, the New Market Tax Credit is one of the most powerful tools in our toolkit to revitalize urban and rural communities that need so much help across the country. The New Market Tax Credit allows us to secure affordable and flexible financing for critical projects that help uplift communities, from business expansion and health centers to broadband deployment and other economic revitalization projects. I know that the impact of this program has reached every corner of this country, and we have felt its effects right here in Alabama. In my district, we have seen how the New Market Tax Credit can be used to meet the unique needs of each community, whether it's financing an entrepreneurial center in downtown Birmingham, or developing a manufacturing facility in Aliceville, or creating jobs in Selma and other rural areas of my district. The New Market Tax Credit helps us ensure that these communities are not left behind. The challenges we have faced over the past 18 months underscores the need for effective approaches to economic development. The areas hit the hardest by the ongoing economic and health crisis are the same communities that need new market tax investments and projects the most. Historically underserved communities are struggling from job losses, health crisis, and heightened economic hardship, and we must use every tool in the toolkit to help them. In September, the Ways and Means Committee marked up the language of my New Market Tax Credit Extension Act during its consideration of the Build Back Better Act. Unfortunately, like many tax provisions, under the committee's consideration, the New Market Tax Credit Extension Act was not included in the final legislative text. However, I am working diligently with Chairman Neal to ensure that H.R. 1321 remains a top priority for the committee in 2022 and passes as a standalone bill or as an accompanying bill in a larger package. I know that this bill will finally address some of the investor liquidity challenges that have impacted the credit as a result of the pandemic. By preserving the strength of the tax equity market, we can ensure that New Market Tax Credit remains an effective tool as we continue our strong economic recovery. I look forward to continuing my work with you and the rest of the New Market Tax Credit Coalition to move the ball forward. We all know that we have much at stake, and I will continue to keep fighting to expand this critical investment in my district and across the country. Thank you for allowing me to join you today and to talk about New Market Tax Credits.
Hi, I'm Virginia Senator Mark Warner, and I really appreciate the New Markets Tax Credit community giving me a couple minutes to speak to you today. First of all, I want to celebrate the great work that the New Markets Tax Credits have created over a number of years. Over 830,000 jobs have come from these tax credits. I'm also, as somebody who comes to politics from both a high-tech and a finance background, one of the reasons why new market tax credits are so exciting is they provide enormous leverage. For every federal dollar that the government puts forward, we get an 8-to-1 leverage. That's a great return. It's also what's made me think that we need to expand this program, where I put forward a new Rural Jobs Act that would create a new category and expand new market tax credits by about $1 billion, and had that $1 billion set aside particularly for rural communities, those communities under $50,000, under 50,000 inhabitants. I think we all know that development in smaller communities in America continues to be a challenge. Hopefully that challenge is going to get a little easier now that we have finally provided the appropriate amount of broadband resources so that every rural community in America will have access to high-speed internet broadband. But we ought to combine that connectivity with the ability to utilize the very successful New Markets Tax Credits program. So the Rural Jobs Act, which is bipartisan and bicameral, we hope it will be able to be included in legislation shortly. And I hope the New Markets Tax Credits community would be supportive of this effort, and together we can make sure that this incredibly important leveraged finance tool from the federal government allows communities, urban, rural, and in between, to kind of achieve the financial viability and success that we all hope will take place in this country. Thanks again.